Well, good morning, and good morning to you. Welcome to CED Talks. This is Pastor CED. Hey, it's Tuesday, the day after Christmas. Looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful day of exploration. Looking for a wonderful day of anticipation, anticipating a great day in God. I don't know if you're off work today, or you're your way back to work, or you're on vacation, or doing something different. We are preparing ourselves for today. It's the only day we've got, right? It's the day the Lord's made. We'll rejoice and be glad about it. You know, this morning we are just really encouraged to talk to you a little bit here on CED Talks about what we put up with. What we end up with is what we put up with. And hey, Dave, good to see you, brother. Bless you, my friend. You know, what we end up with is what we put up with. And you've heard that statement probably mentioned before another way. And what we put up with, we end up with, right? Okay. And so that is, it goes both ways, but we think about the end before the beginning. Hey, Sylvia, hope you had a Merry Christmas and looking forward to a prosperous New Year. Looking forward to that. This morning we'll be talking about what we end up with. I'm looking at the end before the beginning, right? Is what we put up with. And so there's some things I'll kind of identify with you this morning that I hope that you'll get. Dean, bless you, man. Good to see you. You know, the Lord did something pretty interesting. He didn't want to put up with some stuff which was going on in the world, so he decided to insert a solution in his son Jesus. And if we would begin to think about what we want to end up with, then we'll make different decisions about what we will put up with. And hey, Catherine, good to see you this morning. You know, there's a lot of things that go through our lives, I guess, this time of year specifically, because we're winding the year down, and we kind of identify what we're ending up with. It's evident. We can look at our lives and go, okay, this is what we're ending up with this year based on what we started. And some of the things that we end up with are some of the things that we put up with during the course of the year. And you know, I was going to initially talk about what we stand for is what we stand for, okay? You know, and we stand for certain things in our lives consistently. And we've done all to stand. The Bible talks about we stand, therefore, just keep on standing. Ephesians talks about that. But the idea behind standing for something of value versus standing for putting up with stuff that doesn't value us, something that doesn't bring benefit to us. That is a difficult place to be in. Nobody really wants to do that. But somehow you ever get suckered into just kind of dealing with stuff and let it just kind of fester around a little bit. Let it just kind of, okay, I told you, you better stop. We can't play with the enemy like that. We can't play with anybody. We can't play with people's lives like that. We can't allow people to play with us like that. You know, when we put up with stuff in life and we continue to put up with it, we end up on the wrong side of it. And none of us, we say we don't want to end up there. We say we don't. You know, I said, well, I don't want to have that extra weight on me at the end of the year. I'm going to make certain I do everything that is possible so that I don't have this extra weight on at the end of the year. And what we put up with, here's what we put up with in order to have extra weight. We put up with continually eating the wrong foods. Okay, we put up with continually being induced by other people or seduced by other people to say, "Come on, let's go out to dinner. Come on, let's go ahead and do this." And so we put up with that, and so we end up with what? We end up with extra weight on at the end of the year. And so those are things that we have to look at and go, you know what? Am I going to put up with that any longer? Because I'm going to end up with what I put up with. I'm going to end up with what I put up with. I've been putting up with not going to school, and putting up with not getting, and ending up not getting that promotion that I was hoping to get. So we end up with not getting a promotion because we put up with not doing the thing that we could have done to subvert that, to get that to not happen that way. And so if you can look at some ideas in your own life, I think that you'll see there's some things that you probably put up with that have gotten you to this place. Hey, Vivian, good to see you. And there's been some things we put up with in our lives that help us get to that spot. Now, when I say put up, I say that that's kind of a negative connotation right there, because we end up with what we put up with. But then there's those things that we stand for. Okay, here the things that we stand for. Kind of an interesting title I have this morning regarding put up. I'm going to spend a short time there. But there's some things that we stand for that we will stand for. Hear this. I'm going to stand for, listen, I'm going to stand for righteousness. So therefore I'm going to stand for righteousness. I'm going to continue to stand. When I've done all to stand, I'm going to continue to stand and stand and stand. I won't be putting up with stuff any longer, so because I don't want to end up that way. I'm going to stand because that's the right thing to do. I'm going to stand because that's what God's required of me. I'm going to stand because that is the only way I'll see the thing that I'm desiring to see. Hey, Sandra, good to see you. I'm going to stand because that is a principle that I've committed to. And that's the truth I'm committed to do, is to stand. And so when we do that, we begin to see different results with it all. Now, hear this part. We see different results at the appropriate time, because God's the one that's the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. He's the one that does that, right? He's the one that will lift us up in due season when we humble ourselves in his sight. He's the one that does that, not us. So we have to do our part in order to see God do his part. Well, we watch God do his part in reference to us doing